Respectable Teacher Song, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, I would like to thank you for spending your time to come to the center to listen to our companies for the past 4 years, what we did, and to share my experience with you. The topic of my talk tonight is a handy enterprise and the practice of social responsibilities and a discussion of our experience. Actually, many businessmen, many people thought about how can a person become happy. Perhaps businessmen are thinking about it's harder to manage a company because people seem to be more and more impatient. And how can we manage our business? We have a lot of MBAs, management courses in the society, and many businessmen spend a lot of money. Thought about all kinds of ways to go and learn new management concepts, use new management tools, new management methods. But after many years, we feel that the changes that brought by all this learning have not brought about many changes. Then we thought about the Mr. Amori of Japan, and the other TPS management system. We found that all these instruments are very good, but when we use it to our work, the effects are not very obvious. I got a friend, spent a few $1 million, and a few years implement the TPS system of Toyota into his company. But he found out that the Japanese would commit suicide, and the owner lost direction. Last year, in about August, he met me and he asked me, how do I build a happy enterprise? How do I do it? After he heard what I said, he said, it is like he has found the root. Because it's a Communist Party, he said, it's almost like I have found the spirit of our party, that he has found the direction. Of course, we have done this for 4 years. We are still experimenting. What I'm going to introduce today is to give you an impression that the new management style of China, that under the social context, how can we use a management from the heart to manage our business? We cannot rely only on system. I believe that you have many systems. But can systems manage people well? Just like our center, we have many systems. But systems cannot really hold the heart of our employees. So I'd like you to see that this is the dormitory of a school, a very small school. It's only about slightly more than 10 square meters. And these are the little students, very young students in the school. But they manage the school, they take care of this the school very well. It says here, a very warm school, a very loving school. The woman on the top left is their caring mother, the symbol of a caring mother. The two people will share a small bed, and they're double-deckers. So a double-decker would sleep 3 students. Why would they do that? I'll explain to you later. These are the children of the Guangxi minorities. They came from very poor families. They came from parents who left the home for a long time in order to work. In China, there are many families such as these ones, which both parents have left the home to work and left behind children like this. Why would they wash our feet? And I told them, no, you don't have to do that. But they said, no, yes, we must. We would like to. And after they finish washing our feet, they put on our socks. And they insisted on singing 3 songs for us. This picture, I would like to tell you that 7 of us, 6 of them are businessmen, and 1 of them is a judge from the Supreme Court of China. He's a judge of a Supreme Court. If he were to travel to any province, he will be met by at least the deputy high court judge will come out and meet him. He said, now that I look back, that type of treatment to me is actually a shame. He slept on the upper deck at his age, and I slept underneath him. He is 1 month younger than me. And the income of these people, all of them have an income that is over 1 billion renminbi. One of them was the producer and the owner of a television station. But why are they so happy? Rich people like them. 4 days we did not take a shower. And 7 of us slept in the dormitory of these poor students. We felt extremely fortunate. They said, these few days are the happiest days of my life. How could that be possible? I'm sure many of you here, that this kind of environment, no baths, no showers. Yes, there were places where we can go shower, but because we worked so late, we did not have time to go shower. We always work way past 11 o'clock. And we have to wake up latest by 6:30 in the morning so that we could have breakfast with the students together. But every one of us was so happy. And this gentleman, now he couldn't wake up in the morning in the past. And he would sleep only at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And he would wake up at about 10 o'clock in the morning. But after these few days, spending 4 days with us, he promised his staffs that from now on, every morning he will wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. So yesterday, I received some WeChat messages from them. Now, this is what I requested from them, that they have to report to me every day. And every one of them was very well behaved. They make the vow that they would overcome the hardest thing that in the past they found hard to do. They promised me, they promised everyone. One of them have people said to them, if you were to change your bad habits, it would take you 30 years. Because those are very deep-rooted bad habits, which his friends, his family didn't think that he could change. But 4 days, after 4 days of spending 4 days with us, he changed. His liver was not good. His mother was very worried. And his mother would cry because of that. He was quite a filial son. And he built a house for his parents. I asked him, what do your parents would like to see you do the most? He said, well, my parents would like to see me sleep earlier, but I couldn't do that. So I asked him, and you say you are a filial son? Is it because he wanted to join our partnership as our happy partners? And I have one requirement for all these prospective partners, that they must promise me that they have to overcome the one bad habit they found most difficult to overcome. One of them have been smoking, for many, many years. After spending 4 days with us, he quit smoking. Now, why do I begin talking about them? This is because that I would like to invoke your confidence with the traditional Chinese culture. Secondly, is that I would like the world to know that the Chinese businessmen from China are changing. They are not like what the outside world, thought about them. Because if they can really change, they shoulder the tremendous responsibilities. Someone said that if there are 20 businessmen who can change their business, they will be able to transform China. And from my personal experience, I truly believe in this. So, let me tell you that you must have the faith, that you must believe that when China is strong, all the Chinese in the world will be strong. And the strength of China is not its economy. The strength of China will come from its morality. That if all the people of China have high morals, very ethical, the economy will naturally be improved. That the financial situation would definitely progress. People think that the only reason for businesses to exist is to make money. So because of this idea, many people would try to make profit at all cost. But if you were to do business, cultivate a business, because we would like to cultivate more benefit for our staffs. With the time that I have tonight, that I would like to invoke your faith. That I would like all of us to rethink the way we manage. What is management? In today's society, we need education. We cannot just rely on management. How much time do we have? How many eyes do we have? During the 18th CPC National Congress, What I'd like to point out is that China is changing. China will become strong. The spirit of the 18th CPC, that the revival of the great Chinese nation. The great revival of the Chinese nation is in the revival of its traditional culture. A Premier Xi went to the hometown of Confucius and took 2 books from Xu. He took 2 books from there. It's to show all the Chinese that we must work on our traditional Chinese culture. Our mission in Buddha is with all our hearts. We pledge to bring the culture of the sages to the world to benefit mankind. Because the sage values and culture belongs to the world. It is not exclusive to the Chinese. So we must all know that Professor Toynbee in the 70s mentioned that to solve the problems of the 21st century, we have to rely on Confucianism, Mencius, and the Mahayana Buddhism. If we can set the role model, if we can establish the moral values, the values of an enterprise lies in the happiness of its staff. When employees are happy, our products, our business will become happy too. So quality is equal to morality. So if your products have problems, that is because your moral ethics still have problems. So to straighten it up, we should actually let our employees to enjoy their work, to find happiness and fulfillment in their job first. It's not that today the businessmen are not willing to spend money on their employees. They also did a lot of things for their employees, but the effects were not very satisfactory because we did not understand what is happiness. What will make a staff happy? I even have a friend who gave away 80% of the 90% shares of a business to his employees. But his employees were not happy. I have another friend. In 5 years ago, one of his senior executives, when they were about to resign, they told my friend that I want to go and make more money. So 5 years ago, 5 million was enough. So my friend said, if you work for me another 5 years, I will give you 10 million 5 years from now. So they stayed. After 5 years, every one of them got 10 million. They still told my friend and said goodbye to my friend. What's the problem with that? No, the employers are very compassionate. So they're willing to spend, but they have to spend the money on the wrong places. So how can we attain happiness? In order to attain happiness, we have to let our employees understand what is good for them. What will constitute to happiness? Let them be aware. And when they are aware to what constitutes true happiness, They will be self-disciplined. They will do self-reflection. They will review their own action. It's only when a person is self-disciplined that he will not be affected by the environment, by outside factors, that he will truly become the owner of himself. He is the master of himself. He will not be corrupted by external factors. That's a real happy person. That is true happiness. Happiness starts with understanding what is good. So later on, I will share with you how to reward the staff. What kind of values we should help them to be aware of? The value of life. We must let them know we come to this world in order to seek happiness for other people, just as we seek happiness for ourselves. Just now, a staff asked me, do you have a lot of luggage? Actually, he knew that I did not have a lot of luggage. And he knew that I carry very little with me when I travel. I have only carried me a small backpack. Because I believe that we must love our earth, our world. And I also must think about, people who are going to pick me up. That if I carry a lot of luggage with me, it will actually burden people. Have to spend more time to haul my luggage with me. And if I have less luggage, the plane will consume less energy. So I don't carry a lot of luggage with me. I think some of you have heard me talk in the last time, so I'm going to skim a little bit faster. Now, as you look at this chart, that many people are still staying at this level, which is a learning type enterprise. Now I'm going to talk to you about the 8 sectors or 8 blocks that we are doing in our Happy Enterprise. So as you listen to me talking, you may think about how can you implement the same thing in your company. And you may think that, well, I know traditional culture is good, but how do I implement? How can I implement that in my company? So I would suggest that we start from these 8 blocks. One of these is, the second portion is humanistic education. What is humanistic education? What is the difference between humanistic education as opposed to other education or other, caring program? It's humanistic because it contains a different concept, which is when you spend, if you spend $10 million on a person, it's only a temporary care. But what contained in this humanistic caring is that it carries a longer term implication. For example, when I hold a birthday party for that person, if I only buy a cake, a little bit of present, which is what people do, but if I were to say to him or her that today's a birthday, we would like to urge you, to do something for your parents, such as calling your parents. This is called an education. To educate our employees to love their parents, to think about their parents. That the kind of care, we show to our employees contain love, contain thriftiness, appreciation. This is true humanistic education. Otherwise, the more welfare you give to that person, the more he will ask. So this is what we businessmen have to be aware of. The 8 blocks that I mentioned here can also be applied to school, to hospitals, to government services. We have applied this to school. School also need humanistic, welfare program. Hospital needs humanistic welfare program. And government services too need humanistic programs. Does our centers need this? We also need this humanistic welfare. And then move on to the humanistic. So the first is humanistic caring. Whether in our business, in school, government agents, that your organization make it into a family. Everything we do, everything we decide must first and foremost consider this is my family. I must treat my employee as my children. And a family has its rules. And I'll show you later how to build up this family. And then second is the humanistic education, which is to educate our employees in a very different mode than the education that we're accustomed to. Why do we call it humanistic education? There are many people doing this. We have computer courses, we have poetry classes, we have yoga classes. But our education is not just about training. Training for technology, technical training. But it's an education that will take away all the bad things from our mind. It's about an education, from our mind, elevate, improve our spirituality, to actually let a person be aware of the truth. In other words, it is a sage education. And we need sage education that is management. We use a sagely way to do our management. I would like to point this out in particularly because many people, after they hear me talk, they still don't know how to implement it. So I want to emphasize, the last 2 points about humanistic welfare and humanistic education. That it is important to educate our staff and employees about the true value of life. And the third part is a green enterprise, from green design, from protect our environment, green manufacturing, green sales. Then we have to think about the sources of our product, the raw materials that make our product, that during the green production that we have to consider which the product and supplies came from. Now we also have a health promotion. We start from the food, we start from their accommodation, we start from the transportation, even the clothing. Now in our canteen, we do not use any artificial seasoning. Our oil, the vegetables, the ingredients, all came from very qualified and legal food suppliers. Because if we provide bad food, diseases will be transmitted. It will not only affect an individual, it will also affect his family. So it's a total health program. The World Health Organization, after hearing our introduction, he gave us a plaque that glorified us as a World Health Organization recognized health unit. In China, there are only about 20 of these certificates, and our company is one of them. And we did not even apply for this certificate. We did not compete. We just get it very naturally because we implemented health food. We promote health programs in our company. See, when you compete for, you can still lose it. But if you really implement something from your true heart, so I'm saying that money is something you earn beside. And the fifth one is a philanthropy. That when a company make money, is run well, we have to start, extending our care and love for our neighbors. Not only we care for the communities, we also care for our environment. We consider everybody has our family. So all the children, the older people, the communities. We went to the Guangxi province. The Guangxi province become my family. I have 2,000 sons and daughters over there. I have many teachers following me. All this care we show to them. Because feel warm. And the sixth sector, which is a volunteer training program. I do not like to call them Yigong. Yigong means somebody who is willing to come and do a job for you because they so happen to have extra time. But I would like to call them as Zhigong, which is a volunteer which has a mission to come and do something for the betterment of humanity. These people, they do not do a job because they like it, and they hate a job because they don't like it. But these are people who have a sense of mission to want to make the world a better place. I have led many volunteers before, and I realized that actually a lot of them have their own biases, have their own preferences. So like these people, they do it because they have nothing else to do. They may form cliques, or they may think that I could learn something from these people. I have seen like many types of volunteers. In our business, we have 2,300 employees. Do you know how many volunteers do we have? We have qualified volunteers, 600 of them. We have another 500 more volunteers under training. Now what do you think we do have to train them? Isn't that anybody can be a volunteer? Why should volunteer, have to be trained? Because every person has their own bad habits, such as when my son is to be trained. People who can become a good volunteer. For instance, if they cannot take a shower for 5 days, would they still be happy to do the job? If they have to sleep with 7 people, would they still be happy? And among 7 of us, 3 of us would snore. So after a while, starting from 3 and then you reduce to 2, meaning that you no longer hear 3 people snoring, you only hear 2 people snoring. Not that the 3 people are not snoring, it's just that you have, improved your tolerance. So day by day, you will hear less people snoring, such as during a earthquake, disaster relief. We must prepare ourselves to be able to sleep even though there were people snoring around us. So we train people like that. Train people not to be affected by the surroundings. And then the 7th sector, that we must record the good things that we did. And so that we can share these resources with, such as, like ladies and gentlemen, on the floor, so that you can understand how it works. And if you're willing to do it in your company, we will provide you with all the materials that we have. And the last factor is fulfilling our responsibilities. When we work at different jobs and different responsibilities at different times, we must perform with our total dedication. When I go back to my company, I'm a board director. So I will give business card as a board director. When I go home and meet my mom, I become a son. When I see my son, then I am a father. And when I see my wife, I'm a husband. So every role that I play, I must play it well. Such as if we cross the road, we have to obey the law, and we help all the passerbys who have problems. So our target is that we increase the sales, double the sales, but decrease our cost by half. So double our sales. We used to have a big space, then we section them out into smaller blocks. We used to think that all the senior executives occupy high places. We used to have big offices, so we prepare to have smaller offices. And automatically you would actually ask for a smaller office, because automatically you would like to be closer to your employees. So computer retired. Many of computers got retired. Actually, we don't need that many computers. Now many people have smartphones that have reached to 4Gs. Why do we need such high speed? Because we want to look for television programs. We are actually moving towards a faster death, where we equip materialism with spirituality. All this modern illness that we have, such as we got neck problems, we got vertebrae problems. So if next time you want to make money, you should go and specialize on vertebrae problems. Because I can guarantee you there will be many people who contract this kind of illness. Now I'm going to talk about how do we build our business like a traditional family. An enterprise as traditional family rules, regulations, teachings, and business. The most important is the familial rules. The family must have rules. The first thing that a king must do is that to have a crown prince. And the crown prince will have 3 teachers teaching him. In order to train the crown prince to be prepared to ascend to the throne. See, this is what we call the bamboo savings, the bamboo piggy bank. All the donations are used for needy employees. And behind this movement is an education that there are many people in our society who need help. So we have many programs that will help people to evoke the love and the care for other people. So if we have any colleagues and any employees who are sick, we will go and visit them. The important person in any family is the parents. So if you are the manager, if you are a team leader, if you are the owner, or if you are the CEO of an organization, you must see every employee, every matter has an affair of the family. If they're wounded, if they're scarred, if they are our children, we as parents, we will be concerned. I feel bad if my staffs are hurt. So how do we cultivate parents? The role as a parent. What is the heart of China? The heart of China is the heart of parents. If we can see the people as our children, we'll be able to run our country well. We will never thought about, increasing the price of electricity. We will have to stop and think that if we increase the price of utilities, have we thought about how people can suffer? So we must have the heart of a parent. And this is another thing that we do in our factory, which is a happy lunch gathering. The board of directors, the senior managers, the executives, they eat with the staffs. You see, in many companies, the owners have their own special room where they eat. But in our company, we all eat together like one happy family. Now, in our family, we will not, eat, at one part of the family and then somebody else eat another side of the family. It's not like a family. Whereas we all eat together at good art. And we all, sit together and eat. It's not like one sister will say, the other sister will come in later, and then the parents will sit on the other side, will come in later, and then somebody else come in and somebody go off. We will not eat like that in our family. Likewise, in our company, we sat at the same time, and I also listen to the voice of my employees. I record very carefully what they said. We extended this to breakfast and also dinner because we have 3 shifts. So when we eat at night, and they can see that there's a parent eating with them, they felt happy and they became more enthusiastic. So don't be stingy with your time. Spend more time with your children. Look at this picture, no matter it's breakfast, lunch or dinner. You see the person in the middle, he's our security guard. We contracted this security guard from an outside company. Even he, we see him as our security, as our family. But after we implement the traditional culture in our family, so we come up with this idea that our office can be placed in a security room, so that we actually can become security guards too. We can help to oversee the surveillance of the company. So we have staffs, senior staffs, who now sat in the security room and acting part-time as a security guard. ONCP who come to a visit, you give them the identity cards. So we save one office. We also can save up our expenses on security, on high security. So we can have less people, working more efficiently, more effectively. This is a Chinese research student who was retrenched because she was pregnant. Japan used to have a very profound family kind of value system in their companies, but it seems like Japan is, retreating from that kind of values. Such as if your daughter is pregnant, you will be very happy. Yesterday I visited Country Lee Kim Yu. He told me that this year there might be 3 little horses arriving in his household. Means 3 grandchildren. See, these are the pregnant staffs. We have specially made food for them. So every meal is about $2, 2 ringgit. So every one of them will have a companion who will accompany them, going back home and coming to staff to work, and whatever they like to eat, this companion would go out and buy for them. They wear these uniforms because when they are so taken care of, they actually come to work with very happy mindset. Just like they're like our daughters. We take good care of them and they feel happy. But as I said earlier, we cannot just give them love and not give them some education. Let them to understand how to be a good daughter-in-law, how to be a good mother. So we have lessons and classes provided for them on how to be a nurturing mother. So do you know how many good daughter-in-laws are there in my company? We have over 200 of them. So we have over 200 good daughter-in-laws in our company. So if the daughter-in-law get along well with the mother-in-law, the husband will feel very well, and so that they could go out to work with an absolutely calm mind. Now, let me emphasize this. That what is the source of world peace? What is the foundation of world peace? Which is the mother. And after they given birth, that we must also, show our concern for the children as well. So we have a happy hair salon. No, we don't have a time punching machine in my company. So people are curious that how come a company that has 2,300 employees do not need time punching card? Now, those who are late for work are actually abnormal. Most people will arrive on time. So, just for a few people who are abnormal, we devise a whole system. It's just so that we can manage a few people who are late. Now we have an assembly where we will line people up, say from number 1 to number 15. Anyone number missing, we will know right away that that person is not here at work. So we need to go and find out whether they are ill, or whether there's something happened to them. Now I may take $59 out of his salary, but I will have to spend a lot more than $59 to sustain the system. Now for many of our employees, we used to give them count per piece. That means that the more pieces you produce, you will earn more income. Is this a family? No, it's not. So let's say if my younger sister are slower and the elder brothers are faster, then the elder brother will have a full bowl of rice to eat, but the younger sister will have half bowl of rice to eat. So this is actually not fair. So we'll actually not do that. And let's say if somebody has less purchase orders, and we should not penalize that person, because the lesser orders could be resulted from company errors. There's also a very important factor that many employees, if you let them earn money based on the pieces, they will really kill themselves in order to, earn the extra income. So we corrected them. So just now I talked about humanistic education. It's a very key point. It's not in our center. Center just have to conduct classes. But in our business, we have competitors. We have to support a huge staff, so we need to also make money. So we have to make sure we have, enough money to pay the salaries. But we also like to train our staffs. So I have once conducted a class for all my employees where they will attend 5 days in a row with full pay. See, we cannot save on education. This is a key point. It is called you're willing to. This is what you do because you're willing to. You let them go and have the correct education, and I can promise you that your return will be an increase of over 36% in efficiency. So we do not need the time punching machine. Here I will tell you a story about our social responsibility. My parents haven't been home for many long time. I'm scared. I would like to see more of my parents. And my parents said they love me. There are 58 million left behind children. This year is 2014. At the end of last year, there were over 60 million left behind children in China. This is a big problem for China. It will affect the future of China. And the future of China is the future of all Chinese. Do you know about the butterfly effect? When the butterflies in Australia flap their wings, they will affect some earth movements in USA. There are over 60 million left behind children in China. In the government of Weihai, when I gave a speech there was an immigration officer who told me this. He said we have many problems in China. Hopefully that I can find some solutions. My heart felt very heavy after I heard this, that I felt that I am responsible to go and find a solution. So when I got back to my company, I start with those people in my immediate surrounding. I must start with my staffs first. There are these parents in my company. So I ask all of them to come for a meeting. I have a discussion with them to understand what they most hope to see. When I was in Guangxi, there was a Shandong television, a photographer a cameraman from the Shandong television. This time there were 2 television stations who accompanied our trip. That cameraman was a left behind child. He did not know the names of his parents when he was 20 years old. So the left behind children in Guangxi, the parents left them when they were 5 months old and never seen them returned. And some of them have not seen the grandparents. The roots of these children have been cut off. They didn't know what is filial piety. They do not know what is good to the parents. The impact of the society cannot be ignored. 60 million left behind children, twice the population of Malaysia. So I had the meeting. So I provided more time for them to visit the children. From 0 to 12 years old, they are the targets of our happy child care plan. Our staffs can go back home 3 times a year, 6 to 8 days, so roughly about 24 days paid leave, where we allow these staffs to go back to visit the children. So our staffs who are left behind children can enjoy 24 full paid leave to go home to visit their children. So we also educate them how should they care and nurture their children. So we have volunteers who volunteer the time to take care of these children. So the kids that you saw earlier who washed my feet, they were left behind children. We have been there, on and off, going there for 3 months. At first when they saw us, they asked us, why are you here? What are you doing here? Now when they see us, they're very happy. They smile happily. They appreciate their parents, they appreciate their schools, they appreciate the society, they appreciate the teachers. We did a few things that we teach them how to be appreciative towards the teachers, towards the principals. In the 4 days classes, we also train volunteers. We help them to train over 140 volunteers. We have little reporters. We have People's Daily senior reporters here who gave them valuable lessons. In the bigger environment, that we show our care. We gave them blankets. To every family of these poor children, we gave them some money. 2 pairs of socks for each parent, 1 pair of gloves, and 1 dizigui. Do you know the purpose of these socks? It's when they go home during the Chinese New Year, they would wash the feet for their parents. That after they finish washing the feet, they will wear the socks for the parents, and they will also help the parents to wear the shoes and say, "I love you, parent. I love you, Dad. I love you, Mom," and then give them a hug and take out the piece of handkerchief. So, protect the environment using less tissue paper. We use a handkerchief, and then we will learn dizigui together. So, small gifts have a big education meaning behind these small gifts. And we can grow together. So we must use our mind that humanity's education requires us to think about something, attentively. And we also have this happy clock. Now we don't say our time is 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So we say, what time is it? It's a happy hour. It's a complete success. So 12 o'clock would be a complete success. 6 o'clock would be a good fortune. 9 o'clock would be hope. 9 o'clock would be health. 3 o'clock would be hope. So they use these pleasant words to denote our words. So Chinese traditional culture is not about just watching television. It is a combination of the environment, about our speech, and our action. It's a combination of the 3. So why do some of us cannot, pick up traditional culture and implement them in their organization? Because we put them in demand other people to do it, but we do not do them ourselves. So we have missed out on the true meaning of education. This is the war, a poster war, which said the stories of 24 filial pieties, and how to be a good people, how to learn from the sages. Now we have very few cleaning ladies in our company. When you come to our company, and you will find that all the cleaning ladies in our companies will have smiling faces, because they can sit with the board directors and his classmates. They are my classmates. Now she will tell other people that, showing me that, Mr. Wu is our parent, big parent here, but he's also my classmate. We sat together and study. So today I told the staff members that the academic department and the administrative department must grow together. that when everyone sees, our office, our organization as a family, they will take care of it. Here's another project that we're undergoing, which is to empty our plate. No zero food waste movement. Every drop of gravy, every sip of water, we must empty them from our bowl. In 2008, I personally led the volunteers. More than 4 times, we went to the earthquake disastrous areas to do disaster reliefs. I personally lead them ahead of the pack. This is called welcoming the arrival of fellow staffs with a smiling face. See, at first, my staff didn't know how to smile. But now, such as the schools that we went, and conducted 4 days courses. Now, after the few days courses, the staffs and the teachers and the principal will line up and welcome the students. Well, that's me. I personally checked out all these utilities to make sure the living quarters of our staffs are cleaned. When I see a problem, don't go and criticize, but do something about it. Take up a broom, dirty our hands. There are only 4 words about Chinese tradition culture. One is nature, ask ourselves. Li ta is benefit others. I'm selfless. I want to benefit others. I do not expect from other people. Do you know why a person can become painful? That's because you have expectation. You have desires. Desires are proportional to one's pain. If you don't have desires, you don't have pain. The smaller our desires, the better we'll become. And when you encounter problems, those are exciting points. This is a very important idea. The more problematic there is, the more excited you become. What is difficulty? Difficulty is you have not experienced before, you have not encountered before, you do not have the wisdom to temporarily solve. That is problem. That is what we call difficulty. That is when you do not yet have the wisdom to solve the problem. But it's alright. It takes time. So we take time to grow. We see the problems, we see the difficulties, have challenges. They are very exciting. Such as me and my counterpart, Mr. Kang, who told me that, if you sleep with me, you're going to have problems because I snore terribly. But when I slept with him in the same quarter, I learned a lot from him. So, don't be too calculative. You may learn a lot from somebody. So, as for cleaning, it's just like cleaning a family. Clean diligently and carefully every corners, the front or the back. So, such as our canteen, we do not need the cleaning ladies to clean for us. All the staffs here, they volunteer to clean up the chairs. You see, when somebody bow like that to clean the back, it shows the humility. and the quality is guaranteed. Here we say, what is a good, well-managed company? What it takes to become a leader. A good leader must be, a good executive must be a good leader, a good parent, and a great teacher. You see, if a company is not well, something that could be due to that we have not chosen the right people to the right job. Now, when you arrange a job, and you find that the performance of every department is different, it actually reflects the style of a manager, his executive ability. Is he a very responsible executive? And the mirror of an executive is his subordinate. The performance of his employees, of his subordinates, reflect the ability of an executive. So if you find that a department is performing extremely well, it means that it has a great leader. And if a department's subordinates perform less than well, it is because their leaders, their managers are equally bad. So I will not just believe in the words told to me, beautiful speeches by all these executives, but rather I look at their subordinates, people who actually work under them, the results that are produced by their subordinates. This is the true test. This is the true result, the true evaluation of an executive. Look at this. My vice general manager, Mr. Yang, sweep up the snow in our factory, and not only that, he swept up the snow around our company, but also going into our community. And our kitchen staff brought us warm ginger soup to warm our stomach. Look how serious they look. See, last time when we did this, somebody said, "Is it because your boss is coming to visit this place?" They used to laugh at us. Then we have 60 volunteer executives to form a caring carpool to serve employees with transportation difficulties. So, such as the relatives of our employees arrive at the airport without transportation, their manager will go and pick up their relatives. Because our executives treat their subordinates like their family. See, even for employees who have left us, we also showed our care for them. Such as this lady who have left our company for 5 years. So we also have filial piety phone calls. Some of our staff, they wanted to save cost on phone bills. So we provide them with free long-distance calls to their parents every week. See, these are the things that our employees go home and do, like washing the parents' feet and care, cutting their nails. And look at this. When the father washed the feet of his mother, look at his daughter. See, when the father takes the leadership, his daughter will follow his steps. And I'm sure his daughter will follow and wash the feet of her father. See, here I got from my own pocket. I gave them some ang pao money. With full respect. Well, see, this is when we give out the mooncakes for our employees. So I really appreciate it very much that Kodak Company will encourage us to present the mooncakes to our family as an act of kindness. I think for families who have children working outside of their home, working in other places, that actually through this activity, we reconnect the family. Such as myself, I have not write to my mother for over 10 years, but through this occasion, I started writing to my mother. So, using this special time, we give blessing to our family. Dear Dad and dear Mom, that when I feel sad, I remember the loving eyes of Mom, that I know that in me, flowing the determination of Mom and Dad, that nothing, can stop me, that no disappointment can upset me. That Mom, I would like you to know that when I live in this concrete, jungle, that I seem to have neglected something. That I remember that what you gave to us, what you have, sacrificed yourself for us, the wrinkles on your face. Did you see that the mooncake that we bought, the best mooncakes, are from the Shangri-La Hotel, and the same mooncake manufacturers who would develop products to the highest government officers in Zhongnanhai. Because we must give the best to our parents. We also wrote a letter to their parents, and we gave them a DVD about our company. That not only that they will get a gift from our company, they will also receive a message from the children. And some of the parents would write to us, express appreciation to us, and some parents would also insist, give me a call, and say that they're willing to have their children forever, to follow me. And some of the parents, they thought about all kinds of ways to find my telephone. They even say, don't tell my children, because I really want to appreciate my thank to you in person, Mr. Wu. Even though my children have told me not to, because because you are a very busy person, they told me not to call you, disturb you, but I would really like to show my appreciation to you. So I have parents who go all the way out to find my telephone to show the appreciation to me. And then we have this good daughter-in-law representative meeting. I think this is time to recall a recess. This is from the IC department. We have many programs. We have study groups. We have all kinds of classes. We have sharings. We also have appreciation for the master. We also have etiquette sessions. And this is one of my senior managers, to experience the work, that he must be a role model. Here we show our care to our laundry ladies. And the kitchen's helpers. And we have Good Dog Family Days. There are many things we can do. So from September 3rd, our whole family is engaged in learning programs. All the education programs that we provide must be attended by board directors, senior managers, senior executives, team leaders, all the way down to staffs and even to cleaning ladies must attend the classes. We cannot expect our subordinates to attend classes if we ourselves don't take the lead. So humanistic education first start with the leaders. Start from ourselves. So how do we select teachers? How do we select study materials? We have to be careful, because if a teacher should teach the wrong kind of thinking, he may mislead people. And we must select teachers who are moralistic or moral, who practice what they teach. So I spent 3 months selecting, reading, or listening to different materials. Who gave the speech? What's it about? So we talk about 3 areas where we can push our education environment. For instance, when we study, we will switch off our handphone and we will not take it with us. All the teams must give up their smartphones or the mobile phones. Now, if you can be turned by your handphone, your mind will be turned around or be affected by other things. You will not be able to learn well. If you can be affected by a handphone, your mind will be affected by many other things. Our mind is not put on the right path. Our heart is impatient, is very chaotic. All this is a reflection of a simple mobile phone that cannot be given up. If you cannot study seriously, if you cannot quiet down yourself, if you cannot focus, your wisdom cannot arise. Because wisdom will arise after you have achieved a focus and calmness in your mind. So I personally chose the teaching materials. In March last year, we started the total mobilization of our company. I used a lecture given by Dr. Zhong Maosen. I also encountered, the concern of many people, which is, we would like to invite teachers to come to our company to give, lessons. But I can tell you, we do not necessarily need to invite teachers from outside. Now, I also remind the teachers on center that if they do not teach well, they'll be replaced by DVDs. So we do not depend, on the outside sources. Rely on ourselves. So I started with Liao Fan's 4 lessons given by Dr. Zhong. Such as today, when they introduced me, actually, to introduce me in such a manner, it is still inadequate. Just to introduce me, as such and such person, it's not enough to make me into a good teacher. So I invited Dr. Zhong, actually using his DVDs, a presentation that he made. Dr. Zhong was a professor, graduated from USA. that we must let the participants feel happy, feel confident that Dr. Zhong, as a professor, a graduate of USA, secondly, he's a very filial son. And also attached to the Beijing University. So they felt that this doctor has credentials. So I'm teaching you actually how to implement this family value building establishment in your company. First of all, means lay down the foundation, how to select teachers, when to start. These are all key points. Now, some of the participants, our employees said, they have other prior engagements. But when I have the full conviction that education is the most important task in your company, you must mean it. Many people will have reasons not to attend the courses. Like some of my employees say that they need to have some time off, to meet up with a teacher. So we started the lessons in the afternoon. And he said, okay, about the birthday that they need to, the birthday party that they need to attend to. So I actually would buy gifts for them. I said, okay, you present these gifts to your teacher, and you please tell your teacher that I cannot attend his birthday, but reassure teacher that I will not forget the birthday of my teacher because I need to attend a course. And then some employees said that, okay, I need to take my parents to the hospital. And what I did was I called the hospital. I arranged for a prior appointment for the parents. And then some said, okay, I cannot get transportation. So I said, okay, I'll give you money to take a taxi. And even my senior managers who were doing negotiation overseas, I asked them, all of them, to come back to attend the courses. Which is more important? Education is most important. So I told these senior managers, okay, you take even if you have to take the last plane to come back, education is very important. And that's what they did. They would take the last plane, arrive on time in order to attend the courses. We must resolve all problems. I even have lawyers telling me that we cannot have closed doors learning. And this lawyer actually warned me. That, I cannot close up all the lawyers, close up all the workers, closing, have all the employees all closed up in one place to study. But this lawyer who told me that have now become one of the most enthusiastic, students of our company. So when you are determined, push something through, because education is so important. And personally, I would attend all the classes personally. I myself would listen over and over to the lessons, like 5 times. That, if participants have incorrect views, it's important that, we help them to realize the incorrect views. You see, all the board directors sat among the staffs, respectfully, And our environment is so clean that if we see a piece of hair on the floor, we'll pick it up. When I saw somebody wearing a slippers, wearing sandals, walk into the classroom, I didn't feel quite comfortable about it. So I would express, this during the sharing sessions. And I have many testimonials to the good effects of these courses. I have many of these videos, but let me select some of it. I think this well, okay, let's look at some of them will become vegetarian right away, and some of them stop going fishing. Some of them like quit smoking. And some stop wasting the food. Some of them like say how they will correct the bad habits. Look at this lady was about to give birth. So as a mother is studying, so is a baby. And when she sits and she felt a little bit uncomfortable, she will stand up and continue to read. So for a pregnant mother like this, we'll give her as much time as she needs to study. So she'll continue to study even though she was a bit tired, sitting down. So she gave birth 6 days after that. So her baby was the happiest baby in the world. Her husband also attended the course. So these are the cleaning ladies. We treat them as our equals. You see, academic degree and culture is not the same. They may not have a certificate, a degree, but they are very cultured person. So if you are a professor, even though if you are a PhD student, if you don't have good moral quality, you are not, even as good as a cleaning lady. There's such as cleaning ladies and say, why do you ask me to come and learn? I do not know how to, I do not read well, and I can't write well. You see, this is the sharing that she wrote. She said, I do not know how to write well, but because this is a homework, so I should write this. See, some of the words that she cannot write out, she asked her grandchild to use pinyin, which is a Chinese phonetic, to spell out the word. So she really did her homework with all her heart. You see this? She said, we must do our job well, so that our parent, the big parent, who is Mr. Wu, that I must wash every bowl, wash every piece of vegetable, very clean, really perform my duty. And this kind of, loving the company, this attitude, applies to, everywhere. Even our kitchen staffs, our drivers, they always think about how to save money for the company, how to perform the role so that they could contribute to the company, so that they can reduce, the burden of the big parents, who is actually Mr. Wu. You see all the glass and cups, with special areas for them. You see the tidiness. You will not see one bag, one cup, one dish putting in proper manner. Look at the chairs, the bowls. We straighten it up. This is called, educating, using the environment. Even the position of the books. Now, just now when you all stand up, we still make some noise. See, over there, we have no sound when we stood up. That is called respect. We study together. We exemplify traditional culture. There was a professor from the Pekao University of Taiwan who came and visit. He was really surprised at seeing how tidy, how clean our classroom was. You see, all these staffs were born in the 80s and the 90s. And it was always said that, Chinese born in the 80s and the 90s were spoiled children. But I can tell you this, there are no troubles in our company. So those of you who are senior managers, any supervisors who told you that subordinates under me have problems, let me tell you this, it is they who have problems. Because you did not, exemplify, your expectation. So when the executives come to see me about, a staff has problems, I said, you should really feel embarrassed about yourself. You should really look at yourself and review why, your subordinates have these problems. I said, this is our chef from the kitchen. And even the head of the kitchen, our chef, also take courses. These are the number of people who are slowly turning into vegetarian, or actually decrease their consumption of meat. And we have a number of people who quit smoking. And I actually feel embarrassed, if they smoke. So, we do not manage people by force. Our staffs are led to actually feel ashamed because they feel that they are not doing something right. So it's a kind of self-discipline, self-management. So moral shame is a very important part of education. That you don't need to force them to do anything. They will do themselves because they feel embarrassed if they should commit a misbehaving action. Sometimes when we have meetings, and many business owners or senior executives who come to our meetings, and they will take out their handphones, flip them around. So how do I persuade them to stop using the handphone? So this is what I said. I can see that all of you come here in order to learn, with all of your heart. And I can see that you're using your handphone to record down the notes. But, when you use your handphone to record down your notes, write your notes, other people may misunderstand that you are using your handphone to record our sessions. So in order not to make people misunderstand you, perhaps, do not use your handphone to record down your notes. So what I saw was all the board directors, one by one, put down their handphones. So you see, these are all staffs, born in the 80s, in the 90s. All these are reports, about employees who have quit smoking, people who have consuming less meat, people who are becoming more vegetarians. So what did they do with the money? After they have quit smoking, that they actually save money. So they contributed their extra money, in the hope that it can benefit more people. So this is what happened after the education. See, we retired the computers. So when we went to Guangxi, I gave them 20 computers. See, the computer I'm using was actually a leftover by our sales department. So I used their old laptop. So why do I give them 25 computers? The next step that we're going to implement is that I love my school. And in our company, we started I Love My Society. See, we turn complexity into simplicity. So we merge 5 companies we merge 5 departments into one service center. So instead of sending out emails, we communicate face to face. His green design. We save on energy consumption. Reduce chemicals. We have many propositions, many items, to cut down the haze problems. But we can't sit and wait for solutions. We must devise solutions. Because in our society, there's too many waiting, too many people talking, too few people doing. We must start with ourselves. Every employee who have a car, for 1 day a week, they stop driving the cars and come to work on bicycles. All our shareholders meeting, as long as I am the host, I will provide vegetarian dishes. And since I know that the food that is no good, why would I provide those food for my guests? So you see, we have over 1,000, dishes on our menu. Our vegetarian dishes are so good that the chefs of Shangri-La Hotel ask our chefs to go to Shangri-La Hotel to share the knowledge of preparing nutritious low-carbon meals. So our staffs are actually enjoying meals that are, great enough for the Shangri-La Hotel. 2,300 employees. We all chip in together. We cultivate little forests, little gardens, starting for seedlings, trees. See, all the vegetables that we grow are organic. No artificial chemicals. And so we love them. Look at our flowers. Look at the watermelon that we grow. It's beautiful. See how happy they look when they harvest the vegetables? Battery recycling. And we cooperate with other units, including one bank. Look at this. They have program. We also take our children with us to participate, to clean up the communities. We love the public utilities. We visit old folks' homes. We also visit the disabled children who have volunteers passport. Look at how happy our volunteers are. They really feel the joy of contributing their efforts. So they really practice what they preach. But this is to encourage our staff in our center that 弟子规 is used for action and not just for telling other people what to do. So when we're now moving towards the world stage, that I give different meetings at different international conferences, even to the Tsinghua University, and this is in one of the Drucker's workshops. This senior executive from Baylor, he said, I want your voice to appear in the Drucker's seminar. I want to give you my time. So he only spent 5 minutes talking. The rest of the time, he let it to me. This is the Peter Drucker's workshop. This is the founder, Peter Sinclair. Also visited my company, and is a Korean conference that I attended. At first, they were very proud. So the organizer actually told me that Koreans have some thoughts about the Chinese, how they do business, and so on. They feel that they are more superior, so be careful. But it turns out that they were really impressed by my speech, and I also met one of the senior from Norway, and also this is the what we call the national teacher of Korea, and they were all very impressed by my speech, and it was Dr. Amori, the CEO of Japan Airlines, who visited our company. Our time is really up, and thank you very much.